Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to London of News in an aircraft here in the museum in Moorabbin. Just doing having a bit of a walk around. But I hope you've had a look at those two videos, one about how to become a sheriff and the power of the sheriff, and the second one, and of course, Bill Turner was up there. Now, we've got an election coming up here in a few weeks' time, and we've got two parties. I went up to have a look at about early voting, and I wanted to gather some of the leaflets that were handing out. But as I said to a couple of the people there, this is like entering a jail, because there was just the Labour Party, the Greens, and there was one Liberal, and she only had one little poster, and there was nobody handing out leaflets that I could see there at all. And there was a couple of Teals, or Teals, where the keels, they should be at the bottom of a ship. But anyway, the country it was like walking into a jail. And I explained that to one, I used the term person, and they didn't understand it. I says, well, Australia's been a republic thanks to the guys in red here. And of course, the guys in blue stood by and watched it happening. So we're in a very, very precarious situation where the country is going down the tubes. The councils are convinced that they have authority. And what I discovered today was very disappointing. And being an ex-cop, I'm very disappointed. And I'm a very strong supporter of the police, because the thin blue line is so thin. And the poor unfortunate cops are outside arresting repetitive criminals that get out on bail from the private corporation commonly known as the Justice Department, are registered in Dunn and Broad Street in the UK. That's the Victoria Police. So I'm going to do a bit more research into that. It even puts their address in. Now, guys up at the command at the top there, I know a couple of decent blokes up the top there are just waiting to get their pensions like everybody else, and got always that great fear of losing it. We are totally stuffed. Now, the councils are out of control. We had view tax up on the Gold Coast. The further up you go, the more you pay to look out the window and see what's happening. And Casey Council, well, they went completely off bunkers. They've reversed a little bit, but these people believe in what they're doing now. The mayor of council in Casey and the CEO of the Casey Council, there was a grand jury just recently, and the grand jury said, yes, there's a case to answer. So the foreman of the jury and the secretary of the court signed off an indictment. Now, that court case is coming up probably around the end of May. They have to be served with their summonses, yet the paperwork is not completed, and there's a lot of paperwork to be done, because it's got to be done lawfully, and it's got to be, we've got to prove in the court case that there was harm, loss, and injury to the people of Casey Council. And that wonderful leader we have in Victoria, not Anil Andrews, I mean, he's still out there somewhere playing funny games and very rich. It's amazing how these people become rich on a pension, or sorry, on a wage that's, $500,000 a year or something like that. But the other clown is being charged, that's running it now, and the grand jury says, yes, there's a case to answer for fraud, loss, and harm. So that case will be coming up probably in May, June, and that's another interesting case. Now, The Hague, of course, is tied up with war crimes. They won't be able to help us very much, but I better look out the window, make sure we don't crash and turn the wheels a little bit. I have got a pilot license, by the way, so I can fly, but not this one. It's stuck to the ground, and I don't think they'd let me up, and I haven't been classified to fly this other than a normal four-seater or a six-seater or something. I think it's the biggest I've ever flown, and the two-seater is cheaper to hire. But anyway, people are voting, and the Labour Party are going to get back in, because Danton, disappointingly, is weak. That young Aboriginal girl, she should be leading the party. She said, let's make Australia great again. And of course, the woke media, which are as pathetic. I don't know where we're going. And I'm 79, 80 this year if I make it. And, I may not. If I do, I'll get her roadworthy for another 12 months, perhaps. But we've got to wake up the young people in the 55s when they start realizing, oh, we've been done, because the house we've been working on a mortgage, we don't own it. The council now can claim ownership of your property, because The Lands Titles Office is privatized. You don't get a certificate of title. And without anything, this box here I bought in the shop, I got a receipt for it. Possession being 9/10 in the law is not enough. You must have a receipt. And the same for your property. If you haven't got a receipt for your property, you've got a big problem. You don't own it. So get a receipt from the common law court. It's called a certificate of title. It's all on London News, which we're on now, I hope, and Rumble as well. Rumble is a little harder to get people to watch because, I don't know, YouTube is the best. And it's on CLCI Australia, Common Law Court Australia.com. And look on there and look at the indictments and look at property and stuff like that. We're going to try and upgrade the website to a little bit. I don't know how to do it, and one of the secretary of the court's going to do it, but she's on holidays, and it's really hard. We have no money, and this is the problem. What's happening? We have 2 vehicles, and they're really nice, and I think I'll put a photograph of them up. We need money to paint them black and white, and I mean that's only talking about $500 or $700. We have someone volunteering who's a panel beater to paint them. And we have to buy, they have to be serviced and registered. Well, they are registered, but we have to insure them. And we have to put stuff on the top and stuff inside to make it look good. And it all takes money, and money is very scarce. What we need is somebody that's can afford to sponsor us, you know. And if you get a certificate of title, we ask for a donation. If you can do it, we've done so many for nothing, because people are in stress and we don't expect money from people who haven't got it. If it's a donation of $100 would help us. So if you get a certificate of title, if you have $100 to spare, if you can't afford it, just say, look, I can only pay $50 or something, or whatever, 20, at least 20, because that covers the expenses of postages and stuff, because I think it's $13 for the post. Do it, because it's in your interest. You need a certificate of title for your property, like a receipt for anything that you own or walking around the street with that can be taken off you. Anyway, this museum is a great place here in Moorabbin, next to the airport. You should come and visit it. I should do some more and set it up properly. And anyway, I'll stop wobbling. Thanks for watching Bill Turner. It's great to see him back on our channel again. And in the meantime, I'll just put a comedy thing at the end if I can about the election. Anyway, Dr. Barry, London News, sign off. Thanks, guys, and may God speed your way wherever you're going. Bye for now.
Before we attack each other and tear ourselves to shreds like a pack of maniacs, let's just open the sack first and see what's actually in it. It might not even be worth the trouble.
I don't know. What do you think? I'm not sure. Maybe. Hi.
Okay, it's worth it.